Well, hello and welcome back. Thanks for coming back. Where are we? That's what you want to know. Well, downtown Geroskipou, and the lights have just changed to red. What's going on, Miss Andrea? What's this world coming to? Anyway, at least there's nothing parked in front of us, and at least we've got a nice view. And you may have noticed that there's one or two drops on the windscreen. Yes, we're having a bit of rain in downtown Paphos. We're having a light shower or two, and the sky, well, it's a little bit grey. It's not very blue, that's for sure. And of course, that means the sea is a little bit grey. But don't worry, Mr. Paul, he's dressed head to toe in blue as usual. And of course, the temperature, you know, if you're curious to know, perhaps if your name is Miss Dawn, you got a husband called Mr. Sean, and you got a cat called Miss Daisy, and a dog called Bo. Well, the temperature is still 21 degrees, so not too bad, depending on where you're coming from, obviously. But if you're in the northern hemisphere, it's probably a little bit more chilly than that. Now, it's pretty quiet in downtown Paphos today. Why? I don't know. It must be that silly time before lunchtime. It's just before 12 o'clock, and everyone's laying low in their coffee shops, not wanting to get damp, and, well, waiting for the schools to finish and waiting for that time called lunch. Because very, very important time of the day in Cyprus. We all like to mosey on down to a cafe, a taverna, or perhaps even go home for our din, our lunch. Yes, very, very important. Yes, Lord Ritchie, we are in Europe, but in Cyprus we take lunch very, very seriously indeed. And most places shut down, and it's very hard to get done for speeding during lunchtime as well, because most police like to go and have a pork souffle or a chicken souffle if they're on one of those healthy diets. Oh my goodness, what's going on? Red traffic lights again. Always the way, isn't it? If you get stopped at one light on red, then you get to the next one and the next one. Next door to us, that's the Electricity Authority of Cyprus. He's in a big hurry. He's obviously trying to get back to the office and do some paperwork and then go for his lunch, because he doesn't want to seem to stop at the zebra crossing bit, does he? It's quite common in Cyprus. Please, if you are crossing a road, make sure you make eye contact with the driver of that car. Doesn't matter whether it's a local or a foreigner or a tourist. Make sure you make eye contact before you step out, because, well, there's a lot of things going on in our minds as we drive around in Cyprus. We're thinking about lunch at this time of day. We're also thinking about buying a Bentley or a Ferrari, and we're thinking about which bank we can rob. Bank of Cyprus there on the left-hand side, and then you've got the Plus supermarket on your left-hand side. You've got a car dealer, and you've got the Royal Hospital. There we are. Very, very popular hospital indeed. A lot of British staff in there, even British doctors as well, by the way. Private hospital, although you can go there on the GESI, which is the National Health Service in Cyprus. This is the former Debenhams roundabout, because that used to be Debenhams on the right hand side, and this is Toy Box, which, if some people remember, used to be at one time Pop Life electrical shops, which then morphed into a supermarket, and now their branch, well, there's one down in Paphos and there's one on the Polis Road, on the top of the Masoi Road. So there we are, Chinese market coming up on the left hand side, and this is the tree-lined avenue down to Paradise, and the rain seems to have, well, receded for a while, a bit like my hairline. But don't worry, the rain probably is going to come back, because they've forecasted on and off showers all day, and they have actually forecast some heavy showers for later on in the day. So you never know, we might catch one of those on camera in the next episode of Mr. Paul's Breakfast Club. Now let's go and check who is in the car with us today. Well, Dayman and the superstar known as Anastar, they're hanging out in the boot. They're there with the two gangster boys known as Lord Jeremy and Lord Simon, or as I call them, a couple of pains with a mallet each. You do something naughty, these are going to jump out and they're going to give you a smack, that's for sure. A couple of Kumbarus in blue next to us in an unmarked Ford Focus, obviously CID, and they're hunting down where they can go for their lunch, is what they're doing. So we'll pop that over there, and we'll make sure that we do not touch that mobile phone that is filming away. Otherwise, they might arrest us and drag us off to see Captain Stavros, and he's a violent man. He does like to beat you if you've been a naughty boy. There they go, in the outside lane. two gambaros in plain clothes hunting for someone doing something, and they're going to arrest you and chuck you in the back. And in hot pursuit, there we go, is the McDonald's delivery. I'm wondering, I have not seen it in the UK, but I'm not saying it's not there, but I haven't seen McDonald's delivery. It caught on in Cyprus about, I think time goes now, but about 4 to 5 years ago it started. Please forgive the manhole covers. When they surfaced this road a few years back, they couldn't be bothered to put the manholes at the right level, so there were some potholes, to be honest. I think I might get out the car and carry the car, because I quite like this car, and I'm trying to look after it, if you understand. And I warn you now, why do I drive around slowly and sensibly? Because the boys in blue are literally everywhere, and they are quite simply waiting for you. One of the hot spots coming up down the bottom here. They're probably not here today because it's raining. They don't like to get wet, and they don't like to get too hot as well. And it's lunchtime coming up as well. But please be careful when you're driving around. Most of the speed limits in and around Paphos are 50 kilometers an hour. The boys in blue are very generous, and they allow you to do 19 kilometers over. Yep, you heard me correctly. Around about 20% over the speed limit, no problem. So, as I say to everyone, drive around at 60 kilometers an hour, and well, they won't even bat an eyelid at you. That's for sure. On the highway, you can go to 120 kilometers. So again, drive around about 110. The official speed is 100, and you will be fine. That's where they hang out normally, on the left-hand side there. So this is the Cape of Paphos roundabout. We're going to go straight over. If you were to go left there, you'd be on the, what I call the Hotels Ring Road, and you go out to the Paphos Airport in 15 kilometers, which is just under 10 miles. Take you about 20 minutes if you're in a car. And on a bus, takes you about half an hour or so, because they're travelling that little bit more, well, slower, isn't it? So this is the final descent into the Cape of Paphos area, and we're going to join the Passidonis Avenue, which of course is the Hotels Road to me and you. You've got the 3-star Veronica Hotel on the left-hand side. We've got mixed reports on that place. It's a budget hotel. I think the rooms are clean, and the pool was very nice, and I think the food is not too bad, and it's close to the promenade. And then over here on the left, you've got the 4-star Avanti Hotel, and that's a very popular hotel. And JJ Tonic, Miss Justine and Mr. Andy, well, they're going to boogie on down there very soon indeed, isn't it? And Tony Ancaro hung out there last time he was in town, and he said it was pretty good. That's what he said to us. In front of us there, that's the Olympic Lagoon Resort Hotel. One of the best hotels in Paphos, 5-star luxury, all-inclusive. They've got an adults-only area as well, so if you haven't got littlies and you don't want the hassle and the noise that they make, you can go to the adults-only area, and they've got a nice pool area as well, and a spectacular view out over the blue Mediterranean Sea. Ampura Resort, we just passed on the left-hand side. They've got a very nice beach bar at the back with spectacular views. This is the Anesthesia Beach Bar, and it's mimicked onto a hotel. It's got what we call the Snake, where you can climb and get a spectacular view out across the blue Mediterranean Sea. This is the Amarvi 5-star luxury hotel. Whenever I come past here, I always think of Joe Cox, his beautiful wife Miss Julie, the sister Miss Kath, and of course her partner in crime Mr. Colin. And they came out in December and celebrated their holidays, and they liked it so much that guess what, they're coming back again. Next one on the block doesn't need much of an introduction. This is Alexander the Great. There's Alex on his horse Stavros, and he's waiting for the superstars to arrive. The next one that's popping into town that we know of is the lady known as Dame Anne. A couple of weeks and she'll be here, and you never know, we might get her on camera chutchka dancing down the Cape of Paphos promenade. The final one on this part of the road is the Mura 5-star luxury hotel. Beachfront hotels, by the way. If you go out of the back door and take a right, there's a coastal pathway that takes you down to the promenade and harbour area. And as you can see, there's a bit of big diggering going on. And a bit of a problem, isn't it? Because they haven't really thought about cars coming two ways. So we've got to be a bit patient. And now we're going to go. There we are. And we're going to keep going. And as you can see, this is the road outside the Annabelle 5-star luxury hotel. And they are digging the living daylights out of it and dropping pipes in and other infrastructure and bits and bobs. So let's keep going and see what's actually going on. But luckily there is an access way, and luckily the pavement seems to be intact, and it doesn't seem to be bothering most tourists, because of course most tourists are not in cars, so the inconvenience of the road being dug up doesn't really bother you that much. And again, you know, if you want to mosey on down to the promenade, it's only just over here, and on the way you can pop into the Imperial restaurant. Marius Diamonds is open. Oh my goodness, keep going. You've got the Royal restaurant, one of our favourites there on the right hand side, and of course to the rear of that is the Dionysus Hotel, very, very popular hotel indeed. Mr. Reed and Miss Catherine, they enjoyed their stay there a few weeks back, and they said it was absolutely wonderful. And then of course before that we had some superstars known as Miss Andrew and Mr. Mart, and they hung out in there as well just after it had reopened. So they were there over Valentine's, and they said the staff were excellent. It was a nice little family orientated hotel, and the food was very, very good indeed. And like I say, the Royal restaurant on the front, it's one of our favourite restaurants, and we go there once or twice a week for lunch or an evening meal, and we've taken many family members there and entertained, and we think it's a great restaurant indeed. And we intend to theme our Marika and Me lounge bar, bistro lounge, on that. We think it's a nice little setup. So one of these days the Marika and Me lounge bar will open up in a couple of years time, and hopefully people will come and sit and well, sit for a long time, as Miss Marika says, and make friends with us, because that's what we want to do at the end of the day. Look at all this big giggling going on, by the way. That's the Buzz Bar, and this is the Grazie Italian themed restaurant coming up on our right hand side. Again, this is an access road down to the rear of the promenade, and well, another 6 weeks or so they're saying before that road's back in action. So we're going to wiggle this way and go past the Predomus, I think that's how you say it, hotel. Not a bad hotel, bit of a budget hotel. You do get a breakfast there, and I remember Phil and Liskey, the smokers, they stayed there last year, and they said it was okay, you know, it wasn't a bad place. It was quite a modernish room, not the biggest room in the world, but a good location, and they were able to mosey on down to the harbour area literally in 4 or 5 minutes. Just over there in front of us now, the white and the grey building, that is the Sofiana Resort and Spa. That's a very, very nice hotel indeed. Lots and lots of people have checked into there, and lots of people have told us how wonderful it is. And the next people on the block that we know of booking in there, of course, are J&T Mac, Justin and Tracy Mac. Miss Sophie's coming along, and her elder brother JJ is coming along as well. So hopefully we're going to get to mosey on down the Kid of Paphos promenade with them, and perhaps chill out in the Girolamo and have a tot or two. We're going to work our way slowly down to the Cape of Paphos Harbour, just so we see what is going on. It's a little bit chilly today, and it looks a little bit gloomy, but as I've said, the temperature is not too bad. It's about 21 degrees, so it's still t-shirt weather, and as you can see, most of the people walking around are in shorts and t-shirts, and checking on their Google Maps, those two people there, wondering where they are, and that chappie there as well. Because it can be a bit confusing, but remember, it's not that big a place. You stick to the blue Mediterranean Sea and hug the coastline, and you will find the harbour and the promenade area. There's one of the Paphos sightseeing buses in front of us. They hang out in the main harbour car park, and I'm not trying to give you the prices because there's different prices for different tours, but they go on their tours 2 or 3 times a day. And I think there's one that goes out every hour as well. And it's a guided tour in and around some of the areas of Paphos. And as you can see, no one ever wants to let you out in Cyprus. I know I'm pretty courteous, but no one ever seems to want to return the favour. Perhaps I should be a bit more rude like everybody else, but I won't be. Anyway, let's take a left here. This is the Paphos Mall roundabout. Paphos Mall is the silver shiny building over there on the right hand side, and now we're going to transcend under the Paphos Skywalk, which, as its name suggests, is a walking platform that is built and raised above this road, and it's worth the walk. It's free of charge, so why not go and have a look at it? You get a great view down to the blue Mediterranean Sea, and a different perspective as you breathe fresh air as you walk over this road. So we're going to work our way down to the Paphos Harbour, and hopefully we're going to get a spectacular view, and that's where I'm going to say goodbye. And if you're wondering how the channel is funded, why not click through to our About page and hunt us down on the Buy Me a Coffee icon. Perhaps click it once or twice. We'll use your money to buy coffees in the morning to keep us awake, and of course throughout the day we'll pop it in the tank and drive around and continue to make videos especially for you. And if you want some special video, you want us to go somewhere super extra special for you, why not drop it in the comments? Again, 2 or 3 coffees and that video will come especially for you. Oh, look at that, the sun's coming out and the clouds are starting to go away, so let's hope that the weather forecasters were wrong, although most of the people walking around don't seem too bothered, to be honest, because the temperature, to be honest, for me was starting to ramp up a little too much. It was 22, 23, now back to 21. I think that's a perfect temperature. If it was 21, 22 degrees all year round, every single day of the year, it would be truly paradise. That is for sure. Let's let this chappie cross. As you can see, it's quite busy. There's a lot of buses going up and down. What's this one here? This is the 618. So where's that going? It's going up to the Old Town. There we are. And it's going Kings Avenue Mount. There we are. So 618 is Kings Avenue Mount in the Old Town, and then 615 is Coral Bay, and then this one's going to the government offices, so probably in the centre of Paphos, and that's 603. The bus service in Cyprus is pretty good, to be honest, especially when it's in the towns in Paphos. Most of the bus drivers speak very, very good English. Go and hunt them down on Paphos buses, cyprus.com.cy. Just Google Cyprus buses and there'll be a timetable and prices, and you can buy passes and that kind of thing. So here we are, we have arrived at our destination, which is the downtown Paphos Harbour. Lots of people are smiling, lots of littlies are wandering around thinking, what can I get from these gift shops, and perhaps where should we go for our lunch? Let's let these people go across, because you never know, they might watch and they may be family members. There we are. I'm losing my English, you know. There we are. That is the Paphos Harbour, and it's pretty busy as we can see. Lots of people wandering around, and it's getting to that time now for lunch. So guess what? I'm going to bugger off and go and get my lunch. I'm going to say thanks for watching, and of course if you like what you see, why not hit that like, click the subscribe, and perhaps come back for a little bit more of my madness.